Hello and good morning. My name is Tasmin, and if you're new here, I have moved from Germany to the Azores Archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, to be exact, to the island of Pico, and today I am showing you how a very normal day looks like from me, from the morning all the way until the night. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you also enjoy this wonderful sunrise that this day began with. This was around like 6:30, I think, and it was so beautiful. I just had to film these magnificent clouds. After this stunning start into the day and after this beautiful sunrise turned into rain, I had some breakfast and a quick morning shower, and then it was time for my daily stretches. I have been trying to implement gentle movement into my routines as of late because, as you can see, I'm not super flexible. I have neglected this part of self-care over a very long period of time, and with my chronic illness, things like that tend to be very hard because they're very painful. So it is very important to really stick to it and get it done even when it's not perfect. As you can see, I still have a long way to go, and I still cannot do it every single day because I'm just very bad at keeping up with new routines, but whenever I do get around to do it, I feel so much better. It is so important to take care of your own body, be it with nutrition, movement, affirmations, mental health exercises, all of this good stuff. This is so important, and your daily reminder to show yourself love, however that looks like for you today. After my movement was out of the way, it was time to do some very spectacular house chores. For example, the dishes. As you have seen in my last video, our house is still very messy and improvised, but at least there are some routines that are slowly building up. For example, doing the dishes in the morning because I hate doing them right after dinner. So I end up doing them in the early morning, so it's done and there's a fresh start into the day. At this time, I also usually do like all these tiny miscellaneous tasks of the household that just things that have been on your to-do list for months, even though they literally take 2 seconds, like filling up the honey, which, it took me way longer than it should have. We receive our honey from a local beekeeper here on the island, which is amazing. I'm so happy that we get to do that. And it tastes just as amazing as it looks. I mean, look at that color, it's beautiful. Once the household is done, it is time for me to get back to work. I unfortunately had to put my desk away again, so I'm currently working from the sofa again. So I have a feeling that you're watching this and you might be thinking one of two things, or maybe both, I don't know. The first one being, what's happening with this sofa situation? And this has a very simple reason. We have our sofa currently in pieces in different corners of the living room because we're still working on, like in this room in general, but mostly on the ceiling. There's still some renovation that needs to be done. So the entire room is completely empty except for the sofa because we cannot store it anywhere else. So we just have it in pieces in different corners of the living room where it's not in the way and where we can cover it up very quickly and very easily whenever we work above it so it doesn't get ruined. And the second thing might be, oh my god, what the heck? Why is this so boring? Maybe you have not thought this, and if you didn't, thank you very much, I appreciate it, but I have a feeling a lot of people might be thinking like, when is the exciting part coming? Like, when are we gonna ride on the back of a whale? In the past, especially when I was still employed, my supervisor, my colleagues, and just so many people that I know in real life were so convinced that as soon as I step a foot on the island, I'm in vacation mode and I do not work and I am retired and all I do is have fun and sit on the beach, which Pico Island doesn't even have a beach, but that's a different topic. And just chill, But that's not the reality of the situation. Last year, I was actually contacted by a German producer who was working for studios that were at the time making very short documentaries for a specific afternoon show on German TV. Where they were showing the lives of Germans who had moved to a different place. And what they wanted to do a few months after was to make a show about different Germans who have moved to the Azores Archipelago. And he wrote me this very amazing email of, oh my God, I found your YouTube channel, I found your website, your life is so exciting, you're so cool, we would love to film with you, yada, yada, yada. And of course, I was super honored and I was super excited and I was like, yes, oh my God, of course, I'm so on board. And then we had phone calls and he was asking me how my day-to-day life looks like, what I was doing, what I was working on, and so on and so forth. And I was saying oh yeah, so I'm a freelance creative, I write texts, I do translations, I do creative feedback for people, I work in the sustainability area mostly, I do Skillshare classes, and I write, and I also have the hobby of making YouTube videos. And in the first second, he was like, oh yeah, cool. And then it clicked for him that all the things that I'm doing happen on my laptop. Of course, I sometimes have to go outside to film content, obviously. But the thing that I spend the most time on during my day is being on my laptop. Editing Tasman here, I forgot to wrap up the story, what happened with that producer guy and that whole storyline. So basically he told me, and I'm quoting him here, your life is too boring to be shown to other people. So unless we pull something more exciting off, we don't want to film with you. So at first I was entertaining the idea and we were bouncing ideas back and forth. And the final idea, the final script for the day was in the morning, go on a private whale watching tour, which I would never be able to afford, by the way. And then go on an exciting road trip all across the island and then wrap up the day with a huge party with everybody that I know. That was the plan. And I was not comfortable with that because it just does not represent my life here. And it doesn't show my work. It doesn't show my freelance work, my passion for sustainability. It doesn't show my books, my writing. It shows nothing like that. And it just gives you the complete wrong picture how life on the islands really looks like or how my life looks like. And then he also started to do some very inappropriate behavior. He behaved very unprofessionally. So I canceled the whole thing, thank God. But yeah, just to wrap that up. Unless you are actually retiring with a bunch of money and are moving in a wonderful house in a wonderful location with somebody that works for you, you will have to live a very normal life. You have to do household chores, you have to do groceries, you have to cook dinner every night, and you have to have a job. You need to earn money, and either you do that by having an employment job like my partner does, he's at work right now, or you're self-employed like me, and you sit on your laptop a lot on your sofa. And even if you say, okay, let's work outside, let's sit on the ocean, of course, I can do that, and I have done that in the past sometimes, but everybody who has ever tried to work on a laptop screen in the sunshine knows that that's a disaster and that doesn't work. Also, it's not always sunny. It's raining today, and it has been for the last couple of days. It's been pretty dark and gloomy and not very nice outside. So, you know, just because you go to a place to be on vacation doesn't mean all the people that actually live there are also going to be on vacation all the time. Most people do actually live quite a tough life in a lot of like big touristy destinations, because a lot of those places do tend to be more on the poorer side or more on the isolated side. Like for example here, it is so hard to find an employment job, especially one that, you know, pays you all year and not just during the tourist season in the summer. And if you are self-employed, you're gonna spend a lot of time on your sofa. Even if I was some adventure YouTuber who was outside a lot of the time to film content, like going on hikes every chance I get or whatever, I would still have to spend a significant amount of time on my laptop editing that footage, and also like spending a lot of time on social media and taking care of my technical equipment and all of that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to keep it real for today's video and show you what it's really like, and a lot of that is really just being on my laptop. Of course, I'm not going to show you that for 8 hours, but just for you to get an idea of what my life actually looks like living here. And mind you, my life is still a bit unusual because I am self-employed, and because of my self-employment, I can spend time on things like YouTube or writing books that don't have a contract yet. So take from that what you will. Hello my dear patrons, this is the first Patreon exclusive video. So after I edited my manuscript a little bit, I started to edit my very first Patreon exclusive video, which is so exciting. I wanted to create Patreon exclusive content for a while now, and now I finally can, so I'm very excited. By the way, the link to my Patreon is always down in the info box, so if you feel like you can and want to support my channel, my content, my books, my writing, everything that I do, feel free to sign up there. There's of course no pressure, it's just a thing that's there, and if you want to support, you can do it this way. It is greatly appreciated. You do get early updates over here, as well as now also exclusive content, and you also get a better insight in what's going on over here. And in one of the highest tiers, you also get a personal postcard from me. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to join on Patreon. However, I now need to interrupt my whole editing process because I just got an email from one of my freelance clients with some urgent work. So I'm of course taking that on. That has priority because, you know, the bills need to be paid. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna drop everything and start that work. And then I hope that the weather will be stable enough to go out for a walk later. That's the goal. It is currently a bit lighter outside. I don't know if you can tell that the light is a bit better. So it stopped raining for a little bit. Let's hope it stays like that and that I can go for a walk later. So that's the goal. And yeah, this is, I still need to paint this, don't ask. We were actually thinking the other day that it would be so cool to have like an art piece up there. Like, I don't know, for example, Pico Mountain would look great up there, I'm sure, but I am not as artistically talented. We also obviously don't have the paints for that and no budget. So it won't happen, but it would look really cool. So there is that. That would be like a perfect little canvas. I wish I was artistically talented enough to do it myself, really, because I do have a lot of fun painting. I'm just not very good at it. But anyway, I need to get to work because again, it's urgent. So I see you later, hopefully for a walk. No, why is it getting stronger? No, it's supposed to stop. After getting completely soaked in the rain, I dried myself off and then I had a look at a package that I got, which included a bunch of new copies of one of my poetry collections, and then I signed some because whenever you are on Pico Island, you can find my books at CW Azores in Madalena or in Lava Homes or Magma Restaurant in Santo Amaro. So yeah, I had to sign a few so I could deliver them in the future. And then it was already time to prepare dinner. I have been making some puff pastries here. I have made this recipe a couple of times in the last couple of weeks because I'm really enjoying how this turns out. It is the perfect combination of crispy and soft and salty and creamy. I really like it. My partner does not, but I do, so I've been making them for myself all of the time. Sometimes when I'm in the kitchen, I just cannot believe that just prior to the pandemic, I did not cook at all. I hated cooking to my gut and I wasn't good at it. I even burned the easiest of recipes, and now just a few years on, I'm so passionate about food and cooking and baking, and I've just gained this whole new appreciation for where our food comes from and how it is made, and I love it. After dinner, it was time to get ready because there was a concert. It was supposed to be open air in a beautiful location. However, because of the rain, it was inside, but it was still amazing.